Action!
Hello and welcome to episode 37 of Your Average Critics.
Yo, it's the main man, Glenn Boy.
Cheers, mate. I was going to say, Joe was one and done. So, yeah.
Joe's out.
I thought he was going to start coming more regularly. You're tearing me apart, Joe. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You asked us a question last week in the podcast. I can't remember for laughing what the question was.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we didn't answer it. Do you remember what the question was?
Wasn't
It was the best trilogies.
That was it.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
let's
answered that though, Lord of
Did
the
we?
Rings. Yeah, we said
Fuck
that.
off.
Get out of it.
let's come back to that at the end of the podcast.
Okay, best trilogies. Alright, I think I'll start thinking of them. So, get the film news, shall we?
Film news, yeah, alright, okay.
So, there's been a few trailers.
What trailers?
Yeah.
So
there's that.
Maze Runner 3.
Maze Runner 3, The Death Cure. Looks alright.
Black Mirror season 4.
Black Mirror, okay.
Yes.
Not seen that one. But there's the animated Spider-Man one, which
Yeah.
is
That looks fun.
Enter the Spider-Verse or
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
something
so
like that.
Spider-Verse, it's like all the Spider-Men from different universes coming together.
So that Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and
Whoever else there is.
another.
Well, them two,
There's
no,
like
them two
loads of Spider-Men
are the
in
same.
UT.
Them two are from the same universe,
Okay.
Mars. But there's other universes.
I thought I might have been completely making this up, but I'm assuming it was this the Spider-Man who was featured in the trailer. That was Miles Morales, right?
There was two of them in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I thought I saw one of them like going to a grave that maybe said Peter Parker on it. Am I imagining? Am I completely
Maybe
imagining
you might
I
have
don't know.
done.
I was watching it on my phone, so there wasn't much detail in it. But
Maybe I imagine.
Whoa, this
Nah.
is animated, so it was loads of Spider-Man.
film in it. Or
Well, it's a film.
and
so.
it is.
With loads of them in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like,
'cause-
when you go to a fancy dress party and someone's got the exact
Yeah.
same, but
Yeah.
they look a little bit better.
Well,
You're like, fuck.
the old cartoon, which I thought was really good. They did the whole episode, and they had this old lady. I can't remember what her name is.
Aunt May.
June.
No, she has the council of the different Spider-Man from different universes, and there's like a Spider-Man with like
Martha.
8 arms, and there's a Spider-Man with Doc Ock's legs as well, so to imply the 8 arms and stuff. And there's one who has no abilities whatsoever, but dressed up as Spider-Man. Like, there's loads of
That's
them.
like the
so,
Batman, isn't it?
Yeah.
so, but yeah, that's what it is really.
Don't know.
But this is a Marvel produced one, isn't it? Am I right in thinking that?
It's Sony.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
It's always going to be Marvel, mate.
No, but as in like.
I think Sony are producing it.
Okay.
Probably, but then because I don't think really Disney take too much interest in the animated series part of it. And if
Okay.
they
Maybe
do,
they should though, because I feel like I suppose
I think
don't
it's a
know about
growing
you,
market.
But I feel like of the animated films I've watched from both sides, I feel like DC is quite are better.
But then also DC are a lot darker than
True.
because Marvel's more light-hearted, isn't it?
True,
Really,
true.
so
Yeah, I saw the Joker break his own neck. That was nuts.
yeah.
what one was that in?
Oh God. I think it was the Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Maybe.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Maybe Part 1. I don't know.
Mm.
So this is not going to relate to Venom, is it?
Well,
Is
no,
that-
it's just
Is that
animated.
actually happening?
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
And they're
right.
gonna
Is there been any trailers?
No.
no, but he is gonna be portraying Eddie Brock, who is the first Venom. But
And this is a
I
film, isn't it?
yeah, this is it. But
Is it going to be a villain film though? I hate when they say it's like they said Suicide Squad was going to be a villain
Oh,
film, but
God.
it wasn't really.
No.
I want to see.
but
an actual
Venom's
villain
always a
film.
villain. But
Yeah,
what they might
Venom
do
is like Carnage, isn't it?
Well, Carnage is part of Venom. He's a part of Venom.
That's another person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just saying what adjectives. You know.
No, yeah, there's a...
Yeah, it's a superhero.
There's Anti-Venom, Venom, Carnage,
I think-
Toxin.
I think I think Peter Parker or Spider-Man will be a massive void in that film.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be his struggle with having the suit and him become one, because it's not a suit, is it? It's an alien thing
Symbiote.
attached. Yeah. So
Do you reckon it'll be R-rated?
they no, they didn't. Yeah, they did say it's going to be R. Well, they want it to be R-rated. Don't know some people, but I think the problem. I saw a picture and it looked like almost they're going to do like an army background for Eddie Brock, and I'm not sure he had that background, and I feel like they're just going to make a story, which I don't mind if they make a story, but it seems like it's a story that they always use, like the army story, and then something happens, and then they're going to be battling with their armies, the effects of war.
So
and
like
stuff.
Punisher then?
Yeah, kind of. Someone posted a picture of the Venom suit, Punisher suit, but with the Venom bit over it.
Okay.
So that's what indicated it to me. Oh, because you finished it. Yeah.
Just finish it. Speaking of R-rated, I know you got in the thing the
Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it's gone. It's approved. It's
So
R-rated.
he's going to make a Star Wars film.
Star Trek.
Sorry.
He's written a script which is R-rated for Star Trek, and they've given the go-ahead for it. He said he would not give it to them unless they make it R-rated.
Is he going to direct it?
Don't think
That we
so.
know of.
I don't
No,
think
because
so.
he said he was going to do 10 and that's it. And,
Yeah,
and the one that
10?
is,
Like
10
films.
films.
He's done 8 films.
Oh, in
yeah,
total.
Yeah,
I think it meant 10
And
Star
then the
Trek.
one about
Oh.
the one about the Manson killings is going to be his 9th.
yeah.
So
But this doesn't include Kill Bill 2.
I was going to
Yeah,
say Star
that
Trek
one.
is way out of his. Like,
Well, this is
yeah.
it. So I don't know if it's gonna.
It's
It,
scope,
the
innit?
thing I read implied it was gonna be the cast of the current Star Trek,
really,
but
That's fine,
I
right?
can't imagine that would be the case. I can't.
there'll just be a massive shootout right at the end of it.
I feel like Star Trek is one of those like innocent properties that the only reason they can make it R-rated is to forcibly make it R-rated. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it'd be a bit out of character for a lot of these characters to swear. You know, like when they said Michael, whatever her name was, said the F word
It
on
wasn't her, but yeah.
Star Trek Discovery. It was
Yeah.
like a big hoo-ha about
What
it.
rating is Star Trek Discovery?
I think it's a 15.
What happens in space stays in space.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying though, someone put on the internet that there might be an actual Spider-Verse real movie with, and it was almost implying as if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would come back for it.
Oh god.
Could you imagine
I
that?
hope that doesn't happen.
Really? So they.
Someone posted it. I don't know how true it is.
40, isn't he?
Yeah, no.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Wait,
It doesn't look it though. It doesn't look it.
So would we be excited for an R-rated Star Trek film?
I would be. It's Quentin Tarantino's doing it. He's usually quite good, isn't he? So
Have you watched any of Star Trek Discovery?
first half of the first episode, it was good. I just haven't got round to because I've wanted to finish other stuff first before I get onto it. But yeah, it seemed good actually.
Yeah,
It's
it's
quite
not bad.
interesting.
That does not sound like
They're
it.
on a,
Well-
they're on a mid-season break now.
I'm sure that the humans will racially abuse the aliens because that tends to happen in Quentin Tarantino films. Not aliens, but just other people.
What? So with this whole, he only wants to do 10 films. What's the thinking behind that? Then?
I think he's just a bit arrogant.
I think
and
this
it's
is,
like,
I think that's a very. This is a very like.
oh yeah, just it's like builds anticipation.
Yeah, like, I'm
because-
so good. I can only like.
But like each of his films is like a film by Quentin Tarantino, or I think Hateful Eight was the 8th film by Quentin Tarantino. So he's very much the selling point, and I think it builds hype for his scripts and his films, and also he just like there was a bidding war for his new script because he like distanced himself from the Weinstein Company who made his previous films.
Right.
So it's all like, oh, he's only got 2 scripts left. Like, you know, they're gonna make a lot of money.
I thought Hateful Eight was going to be his last film. But he's like, just still going.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen Hateful Eight.
I watched half of it.
Not
It's
good.
very long.
It's long.
It's good.
It's good, but it's just long. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Django's better.
I really like Django, to be fair.
Django, that improv scene is so good, but so disgusting.
When
Like,
he cuts his hand.
yeah, and then he smears it in her face. Poor bloody woman.
Did
Like, oof.
anyone see the Jurassic World trailer?
I didn't actually. No.
No.
Oh no, I did. Yeah. They're like it's all falling down, innit? And like all the dinosaurs are like there still, and
It's very similar to the plot of the second Jurassic Park film.
What
As
a
far as
surprise!
Yeah, I know. I thought it actually looked a bit crap. the
yeah,
the trailer.
The kids aren't in it this time either, are they?
Why
Well,
are
that's
so
it.
unoriginal these days?
Huh?
Why are like story writers so unoriginal?
I know.
No.
It's annoying. Like, so if it's not a reboot, it's like basically like you said about Star Wars 7, which was
Yeah.
like a rehash of.
I literally watched that today.
Why?
Because I grilled it so much last week that I thought, okay, let me watch it. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
Were you being harsh?
I was being a little harsh, but I was still right. I was still right.
So
There's
you've
a
got-
scene in it. There's a scene in it, and it really bugged me. And then the girl's fighting Kylo Ren, and she's on par with him, and I'm like, well, this is mad because she's a rookie, and he's like meant to be some master Jedi who's killed bear
Kylo
people.
Ren's a fantastic name, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Kylo Ren.
But literally, they're fighting, and they got their swords up against each other, and then she suddenly just closes her eyes for a good minute, and she's like, just waiting for the Force to kick in, and then she suddenly just does something and knocks him away, and I'm like, Kylo Ren, you could have literally just got your sword and gone, or got your fist and punched her in the face or something, but I was just like, oh,
Is that
it's
girl,
bare jarring.
is that girl the one who's the lead in the next film?
Yeah, she's Rey.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Finn, who's John Boyega's character, is also going to be.
So what, I don't remember his name, Chris.
No, no, mate.
Oh, good for you.
I normally say Josh Boyega, so
Do you?
There's one more. Millie. No,
Was this?
No.
who's the girl's name?
What? No, I was thinking the other dude.
Oh,
The X-Wing fighter pilot.
oh, Poe.
Is
Poe
it
Dameron.
Poe. Yeah.
Was
Bear
actor name-
Green.
Oh.
Bear Green's in this packet of Free Bastards, mate.
Is
a
that
good
is that,
day.
is that a good day for you?
Little victories, mate.
Oh, they do packets of twos now. They do like bags where you can get two colours
Oh, is
in the
it?
bags. Yeah.
That's what's
So my favourites are the red and purple, and they do that bag. So.
Shout out Fruit Pastels.
Yeah,
innit?
man.
Sweets are available.
Yeah. What was it just? Oh, yeah, Star Wars. It was good, but like I said before, it is just a massive rehash.
So your expectations for The Last Jedi are quite low.
Yeah, but at the same time, because of how bad I saw 7, I'm like, they can't possibly relate. So what was it? How did we describe it last week? It's them just doing it for the fans, aren't they? I don't think there's nothing they can do now that they need to bring that
Yeah.
to. I don't know the wording that I need to come out of my mouth, but it's
They're
yeah.
not paying fan service anymore.
No, that's it. So I think it's going to be good. I think Luke Skywalker's part in it's going to be irrelevant.
Okay.
Just because.
If me as someone who hasn't watched Star Wars before, if I watched Star Wars 7, do you think I'd think it was crap? Like if someone who hadn't watched it,
I think
someone who didn't know it was a rehash of 4.
I think you would enjoy the story and the
Yeah.
action and the effects, but you wouldn't get the full appreciation for the film.
Okay.
It's like what we'll talk about soon is if you watch The Disaster Artist and you haven't seen The Room, you will probably enjoy the film, but you won't appreciate the full kind of depth of what the film's talking
Yeah.
about. I think you could probably avoid Star Wars 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, they're not needed.
They're not that relevant
Unless
to this, but
unless number 8 implies that Snork is one of the characters from the original trilogy.
Possibly.
The second 1, 2 and 3.
but I think
You also, I think if you watched it, you'd enjoy it, but you'd also think at parts like I have thought now, watching it again, like there's stupid parts in it. Like when she's closing her eyes and doing absolutely nothing, and then there's like a part where you just think like there's this guy who is so powerful that he's now become an apprentice to the dark side, the Sith, whatever, and he's just been beaten by someone who's never touched the stuff before in their life.
yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously you've got to do that because of film progression. But I'm pretty sure they never did it in the original 3 trilogy, A New Hope, whatever the other 2 are called as well.
Return of the Jedi.
You never got like Luke because obviously he was just picked up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But obviously he was the son of Darth Vader, so he's got it in his blood.
But
Yeah,
true,
He was
but
the promised one, wasn't he?
But this is the thing, like the first film, I don't think he really got to grips.
He did nothing.
Yeah.
He got shot by that plastic thing.
Yeah, that's it. So, and then the second film, I think he started picking it up, and the third film is a boss man with it, like, but still wasn't boss enough to do anything about it, really.
He still got destroyed. didn't
Yeah.
he?
If you watch The Force Awakens, you wouldn't get the kind of hype around Han Solo, Chewie, Leia, and Luke.
And R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah. So when those kind of when those characters appear, like everyone in cinema's like, oh, you know, because it recalls the old trilogy. But you'd probably start, I don't know.
Have you seen any Star Wars films?
So Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
And Rogue One.
Oh yeah, Rogue One, yeah.
So
So,
what's the next one you're gonna watch?
well, I feel like I do want to
It's
watch.
going to watch number 8.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
You've got 1 to Rogue One to number 8. You're like the iPhone or Windows.
Yeah.
Well, 7's on Netflix, so.
Yeah, so I might watch that before thingy.
First
I did say I was going to lend you the.
Yeah, I completely forgot to be fair.
Then
To
do
be
you
honest,
want?
I haven't gonna lie, until Thursday I haven't really got time to watch it.
Fair enough.
So
Alright. Back to trailers. We just watched Alita Battle Angel. That is the story. I don't really know.
Neither
She's
do I.
some like android.
thing, yeah.
She's got huge
massive
eyes.
eyes.
Do you remember that film that
Massive
came
eyes.
out a couple of years ago, Big Eyes or something, about the painter?
Oh, so
But
boring.
they had like big eyes in that. and-
Yeah, did you see that film?
No.
Oh my
You went to
god,
cinema, didn't
I
you?
did, yeah. Oh,
But yeah, I mean, she's got like overly sized eyes. She looks like something out of a Pixar film. And I'm just like, what the hell is going
who
on?
made? Who's directing or who's
Robert Rodriguez.
that? Who's
He
he?
did Spy Kids, Machete.
Spy Kids. They've got some big eye characters, haven't they?
Don't know, not. Well,
They got
But
monstrous
she's a
characters.
robot, so if you're going to create a robot, do you want it to look exactly like
but she
a
looks
human?
like she's got
Yeah, you
a
wanna
Snapchat filter on her
differentiate,
face
don't
all
you?
the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I suppose if she
Her
sticks her
arms-
tongue out, she'll get a
her
dog
arms are
tongue.
animatronic as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it looked visually alright, but
I feel like watching it, the plot looks very basic. So like, I think they said, oh yeah, one of the guys was like, people are gonna come after you, and she was like, why? And I was like, I literally before as soon as she said why, I was like, I know exactly what he was gonna say. Oh, so because you're special or something like that, and that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I'll probably watch it because it looks kind of interesting, and I don't really know what it is, but I feel like the plot's gonna be very cyclical.
Yeah, it's a typical sci-fi plot. Even like Blade Runner's pretty similar to that. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'll give it a watch though.
It looks like it would have been a very expensive film to make, and it looks also like the film that won't make back that much money.
There was a trailer for Jessica Jones season 2 as well.
All right,
That's so it's coming out in March, I believe, or May. Can't quite remember.
March.
March, yeah. So it just.
Thing is, Kilgrave's back, isn't he? Or is he just a figment of her imagination?
He's in the IMDb bit, but I don't know what he wasn't. It was more of a teaser trailer because she was just jumping about, pushing stuff about, getting angry.
Season 1 still. I think I only watched 9 episodes, but I just really wasn't enjoying it.
It's hard when you don't enjoy it, but you want to finish it because you know there's going to be other stuff.
Reasons.
And especially if she ends up being in Avengers as well, which.
What?
Well, I thought when the original cast list came out, I'm near convinced that all of them characters are named in the cast list. I'm sure of it.
Wow.
But it doesn't look like it from the trailers, does it? So, and they have changed their game strategy since then, haven't they? Because they're going to do part 1, part 2 now. It's going to be 2 separate films, isn't it? So.
Oh, you haven't watched any of those Marvel ones, have you?
No, man. No, sir.
No?
What did you think of The Punisher?
I thought it was alright. I thought it was decent.
Snack on my iPhone.
Yeah, go for it,
Or
go for it.
for this.
I thought it was okay. I probably need to rejig my list of, top to bottom. But it was a bit samey. He was obviously. There were points where I was kind of like, why is he going after these people? Because obviously, like in Daredevil 2, season 2, he killed all those people.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's his like redemption, and he's got away. And then he's like, oh no, actually these aren't the people who are responsible for this. It's actually these people. And I was thinking like, so what's that? Just everyone was against you. I just didn't really rate it. Karen Page is an arsehole.
Why?
She's a bit smug. I'm just like, oh god. I was just like, it was so annoying. And she seems to be very. This is what annoyed me the most about it. There seems to be like a little bit of chemistry between her and Punisher, and she didn't go out with Matt Murdock because he was Daredevil.
Yeah.
And and Matt Murdock doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
And he's protecting the city or whatever. Fucking hell, what's his name? Frank Castle just goes out and, obviously he's murdering these people who are bad people, but he is just, killing these people cold blood. And, like, obviously, there was a lot of people who he killed who, like foot soldiers, not like the actual bad people, there's people who are like twisted.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's a point where
he's like, I don't want to kill the soldiers.
Because I don't want to kill a soldier. I was like, how many soldiers have you killed? Like, especially when he's in the woods with Gunner or whatever.
Yeah, Gunner. Yeah.
He just took out like 10 special ops.
I mean, it was definitely interesting to watch, and I enjoyed the growing relationship between him and Micro. They're kind of
like a bad boy.
They're kind of like
bromance that's not a bromance.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you not feel sorry for Micro? Because
at
Frank,
what point?
Well, all the time, because he just treats him like shit, and then I thought he was gonna like fuck his wife.
I thought he was gonna fuck his wife. I genuinely thought he was gonna fuck his wife, and then come back and be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he just like every time Micro opens his mouth, he gets punched. Or he's like, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on. Angry Frank is just a bit. Leave it.
It's a bit of a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Angry Frank. He's like, like even when he's like trying to kill people, he just like every like couple of minutes he'll just be like, and I'm just like, shut up, bro. Like you don't need to do all this extra stuff. Just use your knife, use your gun, do whatever you need to do. The last episode, when William Rawlins was like torturing him, I was like, this is fucking a bit gruesome, isn't it? And then like obviously like he kills him in that, which I was pretty happy about. I was like, cool, you can die. And then Madani, she was annoying.
I thought she died in the last episode.
So did I. Shot her in the head. She got shot in the head. Frank Castle got shot in the head. They both lived.
Yeah. Although, what do you think like when he grazes that guy's face?
Yeah. So that guy's Jigsaw, right?
Yeah, I don't know what.
So
what.
I was wondering at what point, because I know he's got a fucked up face in it. So I was wondering at what point.
What did he do to his face?
And
he scraped it across broken glass.
Yeah. and he got shot in the mouth with a bullet.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So Jigsaw's a big character in Marvel, was he?
I've never heard of him.
Maybe they should cross over with the Saw franchise.
That's the thing. I was like, 'cause
Maybe it
obviously
does.
They mentioned. He was saying like throughout the series like about his having a pretty face. So I was thinking, okay, at some point his face is gonna get fucked up. But I thought it happened a bit earlier, and then obviously he'd be angry that his face was fucked up, and then try and kill Frank. I don't know. Obviously it wasn't that vein.
Yeah.
But this whole like leaving it open for a second season.
Oh yeah,
I don't really
it's-
want it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna watch you die, Russo. And then obviously you got a chance to kill him, and you're like, no, actually I'm gonna let you live. Oh, for God's sake, let's kill
Yeah,
him.
why didn't he just
Just
kill him?
Like,
And that's the thing, like, they're all like a band of brothers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'd never betray him. He betrays him just for like money, which I know is
Yeah.
obviously a big
that is the shittest part. That is like one of the worst parts of it all. Like the reasoning behind the betrayal.
Yeah.
Like this guy was in the family, and he all of a sudden, okay, yeah, fine, I'm just gonna.
yeah.
I'd
whatever.
happily see Frank Castle as part of Daredevil again, or as a part of the other series.
I'm not bothered about seeing Ed Punisher again. To be honest, it's
I agree
done.
with you. I agree with you. I think it's done.
Yeah,
It's done.
like why would you? He doesn't
There's
need
no
to be a
need.
character.
There's no
Maybe
need.
make a cameo once, maybe.
Just like save someone's life.
Yeah,
and then-
but even that
should have been a film instead.
No, I think it was fine as a series, but
it could have been a film though.
But, yeah, it could have been a film, but
It's too long.
maybe not 13 episodes. Maybe 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Would have
Well, you
been-
think
would have
about it.
been
In a
okay.
film, you could cut out the whole bit with the kid going a bit crazy.
Actually,
because
what I
of
like-
the-
I like-
I did like
I like
it,
that.
but like if you were
Like
to make a
Lewis,
film,
innit?
you can
Lewis,
you can cut out Lewis's part. You could probably cut out the part about him going to the therapy with his mate, and just have it all about him versus the army essentially.
Yeah.
But like you need to have them like be.
yeah,
plots
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
so I did quite the episode that culminates in Lewis blowing himself up. I actually quite like that episode.
When they do different angles.
Different angles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
very
thought that
good.
was actually it's probably the episode I enjoyed most out of the whole season. Maybe that and like the third episode, I think. But yeah, no, it was good. Not great. Solid, 6.5, 7.
Cool.
Decent.
What do we think about Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu?
What's the point?
A Pikachu detective film.
Pikachu only says one fucking word, doesn't it?
Well, in the new Pokemon movie, I Choose You, he says, Ash goes, why don't
Yeah.
you want to get in the ball?
That video was
And
so
then,
funny.
and then Pikachu
He's like,
just,
fuck off.
no, Pikachu goes, he goes, because
Yeah.
I always want to be with you.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Gay.
And everyone in the cinema is like,
Yeah.
Pikachu should not speak.
no, he
Do you think
shouldn't.
it might be like so Vin Diesel was his group?
I
And
am
they-
Groot.
So like
I mean, that is
and
ridiculous.
they tell him like, oh, this is what we want Groot to be saying. So he changes the inflections of how he says I am Groot. So maybe they're gonna
Why you get
maybe
someone
they do
like-
that for Ryan Reynolds. They're just
Maybe.
gonna say Pikachu in
Pika,
different,
Pikachu!
yeah,
Why
different-
you get someone like Vin Diesel to voice someone who just says I am Groot? Like, come on.
And he
you're
gets paid
spending
the
a
most
lot
out of all
money.
of them as well, doesn't he?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even do the motion capture. But yeah, I don't really care for
I'm not gonna watch
Pikachu
it.
speaking.
Not gonna lie.
Cool. Well, let's get on to the film.
So wait, who voiced Baby Groot?
Vin Diesel.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, now you're a baby.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So what have we watched this week?
I think we should talk about The Room first.
Yes. So I recommended you watch The Room before The Disaster Artist came out.
You're a terrible friend.
I thought it was.
That was
I
the
think we all
quickest
thought-
you lot have ever got together to watch a film.
Well, he said,
Because I knew I wasn't gonna watch it otherwise. I was like, we have to watch this together.
mate, Cinema Scream was
Yeah,
out.
Chris got the projector out and all
Yeah.
sorts.
Oh,
It was great.
mate. Yeah.
No, I think we all thought it was going to be a porno. Every
Oh, yeah, it basically
5-minute
was.
interval.
He loves his
For
art,
the
doesn't he?
first 20 minutes, there was like 5 sex scenes, and I was like,
We were
what
like,
is happening?
we were like, I feel like within the first 10 minutes, literally each of us said at least once, what the fuck is going on? Like the film was so.
There was a point as well where
With
we
Johnny,
thought,
All-American Hero from New Orleans.
no, what's the bit where he goes on top of the roof and he's like, I did not hit her. I did not.
Do you know what?
Hi, Mike.
I actually.
Or is it Mark?
Mark.
go
I
on.
actually prefer the way James Franco did it than Tommy Wiseau did it. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was like, I did not. Like, he proper elongates it.
Yeah.
I did not. I thought that was funnier than the actual.
I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
No,
I
but
did not.
there was a part in the film where it's not Mark he's talking to, it's Mike, and he's just like, I think they're playing basketball, and then he goes to shake Mike's hand, and you just started cracking up at it.
Yeah. On the roof.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
No.
Was it in the alley,
No,
was
it was in the alley.
Oh yeah. In the alley, and then just fucking
turns around and
yeah,
goes,
yeah. He just says, "Oh, this film is so dumb. Like I just
So what? Try and explain the plot.
The plot.
there isn't one.
So it's Johnny, all American hero.
It's not about Johnny though. I feel it's more about the who's the
Lisa.
girl?
His
Lisa.
wife
It's,
to be.
it's all about Lisa.
So Johnny is this, well-to-do geezer making good money in wherever they live in LA,
Yeah.
or wherever it is.
San Francisco.
He's
innit?
about to marry this woman called Lisa, but Lisa is cheating on Johnny with his best friend Mark,
Yeah.
and then he, in the end, Johnny finds out and kills himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got the plot out of the way. We can talk about how ridiculous this film is. There are so many scenes in this film where I'm literally like, what was the idea?
Yeah.
Like, especially for me, looking back on it, the scene where they were in tuxedos.
Yeah. And they're just.
yeah,
Where are they going?
We thought they were going to go and get married.
I thought it was the wedding.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
And
And
then-
let's go
then-
chuck a football around.
And then they went, and then they were in the calf together. Johnny, Tommy, was it Tommy? Is his name Tommy? Yeah.
Well, Tommy's the actor.
Who's he playing?
Johnny.
Johnny. God, that's
And
like
he's,
confusing.
he's like,
Johnny.
how's
Johnny.
your sex life?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's-
No, but when Mark's about to bloody kill that guy off the roof, and so
Yeah.
I was talking to Tom Pickford's brother, and he said that the character who plays that guy actually changes actor midway through the film.
Really?
Was
Or,
it?
there's a character that changes midway
What,
through.
the therapist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know the guy who comes up to her at the end and goes, "You've got to tell him about it." I think that's the same
Makes-
character.
Well, that's the
familiar.
thing. There's people that just are
Yeah.
not
Appear.
and
But
not
no,
introduced
but,
and then
but
just
that's,
disappear.
but that's what I think. I think that's the same character.
He did. I mean, if you've seen the Disaster Artist, he did fire a couple of people. Like,
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So, I remember you said something. Didn't you say something about someone like opening a door and not closing a door?
Is
or
it
something like that?
Danny or Denny?
But he does close the door, doesn't he?
Well,
There's
not a
one
lot.
scene that he doesn't.
There's a lot. Like, so he opens it and everyone's like, "Shut the fucking door, Denny!"
Fair enough.
You have to watch it
Do
again.
you know-
Yeah, I feel like
you know the kid who plays Danny?
Yeah.
He's actually older than Lisa in that film. Lisa.
He said,
Lisa.
they do that. They show that in the design.
Lisa is 20.
He's like, "How old am I supposed to be?"
He's like, oh,
"He's your age."
He's like, yeah, just play your age. He's like,
I'm
oh,
26.
He's like, yeah, play your age, 15, 16. He's like, I'm 26.
Lisa's 21 in that.
Really?
Yeah. That is so weird. That part when he's like on the roof with Johnny and he's like, "I really love her. I want to marry her.
Yeah.
She's gonna be my wife one day." And he's like, "Yeah. She loves you like a son." Like kind of. I don't know what she actually said, but that was just the weirdest scene
Yeah.
ever. Like.
No, but what about when the grandmother's like, "I've got breast cancer," and she's like, "No, you don't." What?
Yeah.
She just dismisses it. She's like, "Johnny's such a bastard." And just,
And then it could never come. The breast comes in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It was so shit. It was
and
amazing.
the endless tracking shots got panning around San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, it was just that it's the exact same footage they're using.
man,
And then when he goes into the fucking florist, and then she's like, "Oh, hi, Johnny. Didn't realise it was you." She said, "You're my favourite customer." And you can.
You thought
Hi, doggy.
He looked like he was miming a lot of.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
The first half of the
It was
movie.
dubbed.
it is
It
done.
was.
Yeah.
I thought so. It
Why?
looked like
Because
It was so
his
shit.
accent is so not American.
it was. Yeah.
So-
Even though he's from New Orleans.
Well, he had an interview on. Was it Jimmy Kimmel? No.
Just carry on.
It was,
Just carry on.
on one of the US shows, he was on there with James Franco, and he actually announced there that he was actually where he was from and everything. And I can't remember where
Did
he said. Yeah.
What did he say? What did he say?
I
Because in the film,
want
they
to
said
say.
that no one knows who he's from.
Yeah, that's it. So James Franco didn't even know, and then on this presenter show, he said he said he was from Poland,
Okay.
and that he lived and moved to somewhere.
Fair enough.
But he did not. Because they wanted to ask him 3 questions. That was one of them, and then one of them was, well, how did you get the 6 million? But they didn't ask that in the end because he just avoided
Yeah,
it.
apparently it's something to do with real estate, but no one really knows. And then like he's always like in the Disaster Artist anyway. Like, Greg's just there and it's always like, "So how old are you, Tom?" He's like, "I'm Greg age. No, you're not.
Oh, that's the number
He's
one.
like,
I
so
wanted to
you're
ask him.
19?
Yeah. Then he had that billboard up for like
Yeah,
5 years.
I think it was 5 years.
And then they've re-put one up for the Disaster Artist,
Mm.
and that number used to go
to his voicemail.
to his voicemail.
And it would say,
But he only
Go
put it
see
in one
the
cinema,
room.
didn't he?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Paid for it to be in like, the cinema for like 2 weeks or something like that, so
Yeah.
you could get Oscar nominated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And then in 2012, something must have happened, and then the cult, like everyone that it becoming a cult film happened because that's when he got all his money. I saw it on
In
IMDb.
2012.
I think it's 2012 or 2010. Or was it 2002? No, it came out
It was
in
released in 03.
2003. Yeah, so on IMDb there was a thing saying that he made like.
I mean, I was at one of those screenings,
Yeah.
and him and Greg Sestero were there, and he is so odd. And I don't know whether he's now like performing as an odd person or whether that's how he genuinely is. But he would not answer anyone's questions like straight. Like, you know, they'd be like, because one of the questions is, does the gun that Johnny uses at the end of the room to kill himself, is that the gun that they take from the drug dealer, right, Chris R? And he goes, what do you think? And he goes, Johnny American Hero or something like that. He just keeps chatting so much shit, and it was actually annoying me. I was just like, just fucking answer the question.
Even that Chris R thing where the Denny was like, oh yeah, I've been involved with drugs, something like that, and then you just never hear about that again. Like, did the drug dealer get his money? Yeah. Like, what do they do with the drug? Like,
everything's so just so inconsequential.
It is terrible. So what I want to know is, right, so can we is there anything else you guys want to say about
Can we talk about the disaster?
You are more than welcome to talk about
it. Are you
it.
going to watch it?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Of course I am.
It's not really spoilers though, because
No, it's true.
this is what happens in the film.
Anyway, so the disaster artist is James Franco's kind of telling of the story behind The Room. It's based on a book which was written by Greg Sestero called The Disaster Artist: My Life in the Room.
Which is 40% true, apparently.
Is that it? I mean, it wouldn't.
Only 40%.
Did he say 40 or 60 in that interview? I swear you watched it at my house.
Yeah.
Did he say,
we all watched it.
yeah, did he say 40% or 60?
I can't remember.
I think he said 40% of the book is true.
Fuck's sake. Okay, fair enough.
So
Anyway, so this film is based.
fiction then.
Well, I don't know. I think he might have made up quite a bit of it to fill in the gaps, kind of thing. And then he jested that he might bring out another book now.
Fair enough.
Therefore,
I can't trust anything about that because the whole thing's surrounded in some like weird mystery. But anyway, so this is like the story behind The Room, and then James Franco plays Tommy Wiseau, Dave Franco plays Greg Sestero, and yeah, what did you think?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was a decent film. It was just there were points where I was just like, this just I struggled to believe that this is actually what happened.
Yeah,
because it was just so weird.
Like what points?
So like bits like where they were on set and he was like refusing to give people water and stuff like that. I was thinking like, and even like the whole when they first want to start filming and he's like, we normally rent for XYZ amount, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy it all, and I'm gonna film it in this camera, and this is what we're gonna do. And I was just like, I was just thinking, what the fuck? Like, what sort of person would act like this?
Yeah.
And even the beginning where obviously him and Greg meet, and then literally like I don't even know, probably maybe like what, a week later, 2 weeks later, they're moving to LA together. I'm just thinking, like, this just doesn't seem.
I thought that like there was some sort of like grooming going on.
Yeah.
Because you know he's so much older than.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then also the end, like when they premiere it, and then I thought that was very melodramatic.
So the bit. This is what one of my questions I wanted to ask actually.
can I just say something?
Go on,
Can you not say about what the end credit scene is?
No, we won't.
Okay, because that's the only bit that we wouldn't know.
The end credits scene.
There's a bit after the credits.
Did you say right to the end?
Yeah.
Right to the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not see it? Nothing come up?
It's not. I mean, I don't think this is a very good.
Okay, alright, go on, yeah.
I'm not gonna. I won't talk about it because I don't think it's worth talking about.
Oh, okay.
Personally.
Oh, carry on your point
fair
anyway. Premiere?
Sorry, yeah. So at the premiere, so like, basically, the film is so bad that everyone's laughing at it, and literally, it's like raucous applause at the end because everyone found it so funny. But did that actually happen?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know if that actually happened.
The thing is basically the only stuff we know about this film is what's been said by Tommy Wiseau, who's a very unreliable person, and Greg Sestero, who, if by his own admission, wrote a book which is at least 40% true, then you can't trust anything that's
Wait, so Greg wrote a book as well?
Surely you got the people who...
Yeah, that's what
Greg
the
wrote
disaster is.
Artist book that this film is based on.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Tommy Wiseau who said that the book is full. Well, okay, so maybe, okay, right, fine.
Then you got everyone who's been part of making the film, so kind of just ask the actress who played
Lisa, she doesn't do anything
camera
anymore.
operators be like, you know, because Seth
Yeah.
Rogen acts as a camera operator or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's the thing. That the only stuff that is in the public domain about it is by those two, and I don't know how much I can trust it. I feel like that was exaggerated to make it like a better Hollywood film ending. Do you know what I mean? Like
He also
I
had.
feel like it was probably just boomed.
He probably had a few things to say, like he didn't want things to be shown. So like because obviously one of his things was if James Franco was to do this film, he had to have that scene in. Whatever the scene is, he had to have that scene in
What,
at the end. Well, no, he wanted it in, and James Franco was like, I'll meet you halfway, and I'll put it at the end of the film because it won't really fit within the film, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So so maybe he's doing it because obviously probably quite a kick to the gut if he doesn't assume that the applaud and laughing is because the film's good.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, so when it does happen, he like starts getting really upset because people are laughing. Obviously, it's supposed to be a comedy film.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, everyone's laughing at me, sort of thing. But then Greg gets him to be like kind of happy again. I actually quite liked the way they portrayed their relationship.
Yeah.
I thought they seemed to have, obviously outside of the parts when they were fighting, they seemed to have quite they had quite a good friendship. Obviously Tommy's quite out there and odd and eccentric.
Yeah.
But, Greg manages to because obviously things that Tommy's quite Tommy? Yeah, sorry. He's quite brazen and just really confident and just says whatever. And obviously the film, the way they portrayed it at the start of the film, Greg wasn't that. He was really quite meek, wasn't a good actor, didn't show any emotion. So obviously he helped him in that sort of capacity, with the acting, and obviously that blossomed into a friendship, which is good. Obviously it was nice at the end credits to see they're still friends and they chat every day and all stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was
they have done another film together as well, which came out this year. I haven't seen
really?
it. It's called Best Friends.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I saw about that. But I was going to say, is what's his name again? The kid.
Greg?
Yeah.
Greg. Is Greg portrayed as odd, like Tommy?
No,
No.
he's just a
Okay.
regular guy.
Normal.
And how do they portray Lisa? Because I'm assuming in an environment like that,
She's not really.
she's not.
Not really.
It's quite bizarre, really, to exclude her from it.
You see behind the scenes, actors and camera operators being like, what's the point of this scene?
Yeah.
Or, I think that the woman who plays Lisa's mum's like, does the breast cancer come back? And he goes, no, it's plot twist.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
It's good to know that the people involved with this film
Yeah.
knew that it was shit.
Yeah. And then, you see,
Yeah.
the part where Greg goes, oh yeah, she had 12 guys and got beaten up, and then Tommy just goes,
funny.
good one, Mark.
That was funny.
And then you see and again, you don't know how much
Wait,
this
what?
is true.
So she had.
No, you remember that scene on the roof, and
Right.
Greg's talking about I don't think it is to do with Lisa, but someone he knew got beaten up because she slept around,
Yeah.
Right.
and this is when Lisa's accused Tommy of beating her up, and then Tommy just goes, good story, Mark.
Oh right.
In the film, The Disaster Artist, and we don't know how much this is true, but the camera operators are like, can you just, this is a serious moment, why are you laughing? And he goes, it's human nature or something. And anyway, they do 4 takes and he keeps laughing. And in the end, they just go, fuck it, we'll just move on. So there was I think the people in it knew it was shit.
Yeah.
And even there's a part where Seth Rogen goes to the bank to cash his first
Oh, yeah,
check.
he did.
And he's like, this actually cleared?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
And then the guy in the bank, I just think that bit was real. The bank guy saying, oh yeah, this money's like a bottomless pit.
I think that's to,
Yeah.
because he spent $6 million of his own money on it.
Yeah.
How much did he pay them? Did he pay them well then? All these people.
Well, it must have. I think there's an industry minimum that you can give.
Could you actually saw The Disaster Artist? Did you think it was laugh out loud funny it was when we watched The Room?
There were a couple moments that were quite laugh out fun. There was a lot of people who were laughing a lot more than I was, but I feel like people who were really
Into the room.
into the film, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were laughing bare stuff. I mean, there were a few decent moments where I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty jokes.
I think
But I thought it was a good film though.
Are you glad that you've seen The Room?
Yeah,
Because a lot of the comedy is knowing the scenes that they are recreating,
Yeah.
and even during the credits, you see the scene from The Room and the scene that they recreate.
Yeah,
how accurate it is.
They're really good. They're really spot on.
James Franco is a sick actor.
I mean, that's what I quite liked about The Disaster Artist is they don't, whilst it is kind of taking the piss out of Tommy Wiseau, but it is also quite kind of sentimental and quite respectful of him. It portrays him as someone who can get upset, but does get angry, and it's kind of sympathetic in that way. Obviously when he gets upset at the end, I think kind of that's what I would, you know, if I made something like a film or even like this podcast and people hated it, I think it would really like affect me. And it's not just, he's not just there as like a figure of ridicule. He is like a real person and does have like genuine emotions, even though he is really odd. So that was quite good.
It's alright, man. No one hates our podcast.
No one fucking listens to it.
And the bits where like obviously like he's jealous of Greg's relationship with his girlfriend
Amber.
So like at one point Greg moves in with his girlfriend Amber, and basically him and Tommy just fall out because Tommy's like, he's like, oh yeah, you're not gonna be my friend anymore because we're not living together anymore, that sort of thing. So it seems quite childish, but then at the same time I was kind of like, obviously I kind of get it because he's probably like his only like proper friend at that time. So like I did like the way they portrayed the emotion. I liked the way they portrayed so that he did like a he kind of had like a way of like, I don't know, like kind of like galvanizing people, especially like Greg, to go and do something, because he was like, he was like to him, because like points where Greg was kind of like, oh, this is so hard, like we're gonna give up sort of thing. And he's kind of, no, we have to do this. Like they do like a sort of pinky promise thing. They're like, yeah, we have to do this. Obviously, he makes a script and he does all that stuff, and like he does like a speech to, on like the first day of filming, he does like a whole speech to the crew, which was, I don't know if that was accurate, but it was a really good speech to like, you know, get them all hyped up for the start of film, obviously before it all went to shit. But and to be fair, I did kind of see where Tommy was coming from at some point, because obviously not the bit where they were like, oh yeah, we're not there's no water, blah blah blah. Obviously you should give your staff and actors water and, you know, habitable conditions and stuff like that. Don't know how true that is as well, but I imagine there's probably some sort of accuracy to it. But the point I'm trying to make, is the bits where, you know, he's got all the camera crew and Greg and actors all like slagging him off basically. And at the end of the day, like, he's bought your equipment, he's paid for your equipment, he's giving you a salary. Do you know what I mean? He's giving you a job, and then you're still sat there, you know, slagging off behind camera. I mean,
Although if that thing about Malcolm in the Middle is true, then that's horrible.
What's that?
So like, his girlfriend Amber does Pilates with Bryan Cranston, and then they bump into each other in a coffee shop.
Whose girlfriend here?
Greg Sesteros.
Right.
And he's like, oh my god, it's Bryan Cranston, like Malcolm in the Middle is like one of my favourite shows. And then Amber's like, oh, I know him from Pilates, and she's like, hey Bryan. And then anyway, she's like, oh yeah, you know, Greg's an up and coming actor. And then at this point, Greg's got a beard and like a checkered shirt on. He's like, oh, we need a lumberjack for an upcoming episode of Malcolm. Like, you know, you're around next Thursday or whatever, come and do it. Anyway, so like in the room, like there's a scene where Greg shaves and or needs to be clean shaven. Anyway, so Greg goes up to Tommy and is like, oh, you know, do you mind if we postpone this scene till next week? Like, you know, it'd be great for me to be able to do the Malcolm in the Middle. And then Tommy's like, no, you need to shave it off. And he shaves it off, and I assume he doesn't get the Malcolm in the Middle bit because of that, which would be horrible. Like, a friend wouldn't do that. No. But then also, like, the timing of it makes me kind of think it's kind of Hollywoodized. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
So, or you could wear a fake beard.
That's true.
So I don't know how true that is, but I mean, if that's true, then that's horrible. You know, fucking up someone's potential career because
just
because of
Who
that.
played Bryan Cranston in the film?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh, he did. Oh, right.
There were so many famous people.
Yeah, it's got some bare cameos. Like, there was like 3 people from the league in it. I think Rafi, Andre.
Oh yeah.
Obviously Seth Rogen was in it as well.
Yeah.
And people like that were in it. I was thinking, like, oh.
Yeah, you got Kevin Smith does a bit in it. Kristen Bell.
Bob.
Odenkirk.
That's the one.
He's Better Call Saul. I don't know, is it spoilers, like, if we name all these famous people?
Oh, really?
Who's Zac Efron's in it?
Oh, yeah.
Josh Hutcherson. Like, even when I was reading the cast list, there were famous people in it that I hadn't spotted. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I need to watch it again.
I didn't spot Bob Odenkirk.
No?
But Tommy was actually in it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he play a cameo of someone?
He does. That's
all the Franco brothers are in it.
Right at the end.
All 3 of the Franco brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know what the third brother looks like.
No.
It was like a mini cameo, apparently.
But I thought James...
Oh, no, you don't know what he looks like, sorry.
James Franco's performance was really good.
I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it's something to do with James Franco, but Karen.
No, what is it?
No, it's completely off topic.
I was pretty much done.
I was going to say, someone put a post on Instagram the other day saying that Green Goblin is the best Marvel villain that they've seen so far. What do you think of that?
That's Loki. Hands down Loki. in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
All right, after Loki.
I don't know. I really like James Franco in that. But I
No,
feel like
not James Franco.
Oh, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
He was good.
He was good. Yeah.
He was good.
He'd
I
be,
mean, James
he'd be a
Franco
good
was-
Joker, I think. He's got that face, isn't it?
They do
Yeah.
loads of pictures of him with the like white makeup and
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, question.
Question.
Tell me what
So-
you think about me.
Sorry, completely blanking. So yeah, so you got after Justice League, and you know they want to bring out a solo Batman film. Do you think it would be better if they did it like lower budget,
Yeah.
more like
Gritty, like.
human grounded
Yeah,
sort of thing?
because it's Matt Reeves directing it, and he did
Yeah.
Cloverfield, which was like a low budget kind of monster movie. Like if they did some, and also Ben Affleck's not going to be in it, is he?
Is he not?
Is that confirmed now?
Well, I think Matt Reeves said he wants to recast, and then
Oh, shame.
Ben Affleck's been looking for a way out anyway.
Oh,
Apparently, this is what I read. Ben Affleck's going to be in Flashpoint, but then won't be in the solo Batman film.
I suppose they could do
Is
it that when
the
they
Batman
fix.
film? I was saying, is the Batman film after Flashpoint?
I think so.
That makes
Which
sense.
they could just
They could just do it.
retcon him,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to reboot it. To be
But
honest.
how? How though? Because
What do you mean?
Unless
No,
they
so-
have his dad, like the guy who plays
yeah,
Negan.
but Flashpoint is when the dad, does become Batman. But when he fixes it all, Batman's Batman again.
You could just tweak it.
Yeah, but he could be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh please
It is
no! Oh no! Don't make it Jake Gyllenhaal, please.
Why?
Oh no!
I like Jake
I
Gyllenhaal.
don't care. I don't care if you like Jake Gyllenhaal. I
Do you not like
Gyllenhaal.
Jake?
I do, but I expect some quite big guy
Can you
playing
not-
Batman.
Can you not? You know.
Have you
Jeez,
seen?
nah.
Tom
Tom
Hardy was a little wedge for
Have you seen
to be done.
Southpaw? Because Jake.
Yeah, but
Gyllenhaal's
he's still
white
like
for that.
he's still skinny. Like, I'm talking
But Ben
like
Affleck was never big before he changed.
yeah,
to
but Ben
Batman.
Affleck had that physique,
And also-
then he got muscly.
You probably had the same reaction when you heard Ben Affleck was going to be Batman.
No, I said Ben Affleck was going to be good. I'm sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but the podcast that we talk about it, I said I think he'd be a good Batman.
We did the podcast after Batman v Superman came out, so probably
Which
wouldn't have talked about it.
Yeah, we started this after
Oh, is it?
BVS.
Oh.
Unless you've been a part of another podcast.
Wow.
Maybe.
Well, I'm sure before
Fair enough,
because
fair
I
enough.
always used to say,
Fair enough.
but my reasoning was different. My reasoning was that he's a big fan of the films,
Mm.
so I think he'll play it better.
Mm.
But I'm of the belief that the stature of some of these castings is. Oh,
I
maybe
don't
I'm wrong.
understand why these actors and actresses get into it and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be Batman. 2 films in, oh, I really want to get out of
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You is probably going to be a big money spender and get
Exactly.
loads of films out of it. That's
Yeah.
why you do it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Affleck has signed a contract here for so many films as well.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
but
like-
maybe it's a
like
mutual
role.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Maybe.
actually these films aren't doing well.
Maybe they want to go back to like a younger Batman.
Well, this is. I mean, that's the only thing that probably wasn't great is that they started with an older Batman.
Would
But
you like to see a younger Batman?
Maybe
Like
not.
how young? Like
Maybe
him,
not.
like
Maybe-
training up.
Like
in-
Superman's. Well, obviously Superman's probably really old, but you know Superman's age-ish. You know.
like 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
40s.
guy, basically the DC equivalent of Kevin Feige, has stepped down, and they've replaced him with someone else.
I heard that.
Really?
I don't know what his name is or who's replaced him, but
Yeah.
that's also a big thing for the DCEU.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
We talk about DCU too much. Let's move on.
Yeah, and he's back on Marvel, isn't it? Anyway, Ollie, what have you been watching?
well, you can go on to Marvel or whatever. So I was watching X-Men last night.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Days of Future Past.
That's the one, yeah.
Do you like it? Have you seen it before?
I've seen it before, but it's on really shit quality on computer screen.
Oh yeah, on the legal thing that you watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That perfectly legal video that I watched.
Just your poor quality TV.
Yeah, man. No, it was good to actually see it in pixels. It was alright. It's, backwards, forwards with the future and the past and the present. I was really confused by the end.
Yeah.
They were sticking to, because we've talked about this before about time traveling films and that you've got to be solely related to the time travel aspect. And I think they're trying to be in that, but I was just lost it.
Well, you could have a universal time travel rule.
Yeah.
So that
yeah.
everyone can just follow it.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I thought that. So I read something today, and it was listing all the strongest Marvel and DC characters, and it's not a legit, like it's someone's opinion, and they put Storm up there. Yeah, she's like an Omega level, which is I think, the one below highest level you can be, because she can control weather, she can do whatever. I just thought to myself, she's that strong because she had not just crushed one of those machines with like a massive impact of air, just being like that kind of thing.
She was really underused.
And I'm kind of surprised that, I mean, Magneto can move any metal. They look quite metallic, these robots.
Yeah.
But I assume they used a metal that was not.
Maybe.
I do like the film, but there's a lot of plot holes in that film, I think. And then, has any of you watched the Rogue Edition?
Yeah.
It's so much longer for no reason whatsoever. Literally. So
really?
Was Rogue in the film you watched?
No, I don't think she's in it.
So basically, the kitty who's doing the thing.
Yeah.
Don't know what power she's got to be able to do that, for one. And two, she's like, in the Rogue Edition, she's like getting tired. So they have to somehow get Rogue out of a place, bring her back over here, and then take Kitty's power and switch places. And it's just like, why the hell did you do this?
Have you seen Apocalypse? X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Sadly, I have, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really like it. No, man.
It's not very
I thought it was cool though because he reminded me of. Did you ever watch Heroes with Silo?
Yeah.
When he takes their power. Yeah, it reminds me of that.
I think.
Cool.
Yeah, go on.
I thought it'd be bigger, like Apocalypse.
Well, he's
He's just like a regular sized guy, and then he does get bigger.
He's just a blue dude. Well, isn't this like Thanos? Is he just going to be a purple dude? Just
well, the thing is, he's meant to be really powerful, like this Apocalypse. I know he wasn't this, but you kind of saw him as a joke.
Yeah.
He did really remind me of Dr. Ooze from Power Rangers movie. Like, I was just like, what the hell's happening here? And I'm hoping the next one's better because it's about Dark Phoenix. So, fingers crossed. And talking about them, you seen the new... Did we talk about the latest bid for the studios the other day? 60 billion.
60. Well, that's... Because first of all, didn't you say it was like 2 billion? And
I said 60 million. I think someone did a typo on their thing. So I'm like, 60 million, yeah. Oh,
like, fucking no,
I say
yeah,
600
you
million?
get 2/3 of a Paul Pogba.
I feel like you might have said 6 billion.
6 billion was Star Wars.
Maybe I said 600 million because then I was like, I justified it by saying that they want to sell it, not that they want to buy it, kind of thing.
So who's this Disney buying?
Fox Studios. But then I read something the other day. So it's going to apparently be done and dusted by Christmas.
That'll be a sick Christmas present.
Yeah, and then but apparently they're not giving all the rights over. And I was like, surely if you're paying 60 million or billion even, you would take every right to every superhero film.
Is this just...
No, the whole Fox Studios.
So like Simpsons and all that?
Yeah.
Family Guy, I assume.
Well, Family Guy...
Is Fox, isn't it?
It is Fox, but
I don't want that.
he could move across, couldn't he?
Nah.
I think they're going to take everything though. It's not going to be like...
I'm not a fan.
It's still going to be like the same people in the films and stuff and the same
Well,
people.
you hope so.
Yeah, it's the thing, you hope so, but it might not be. I don't like all the...
You just don't want Logan played by someone else, do you?
I mean, I don't.
Well,
I don't.
He came out again saying that he would come back for an
Marvel.
MCU film
That'd be decent.
as
That'd be
Wolverine.
decent.
But Thingy won't come back.
Patrick
Patrick
Stewart.
Stewart. He won't
Okay.
come back.
But like my point is, I just don't. It's like when people say, oh yeah, we should get Joss Whedon to do the DC films, or we should make the DC films one of our films. I don't want everything to be the same. I don't want everything to be under like one umbrella, and you just bringing out different versions of basically the same thing. I would like things to be distinct and different. Like I like this for this reason and this for that reasons.
Yeah, I'm going to backtrack now because I was saying that you should get Joss Whedon in, or just get him in for like bits, like to do the funny bits in the films. But after watching the films, I'm like, the funny bits were funny, but after hearing about all the stuff that Zack Snyder would have had in,
Exactly.
I kind of want to see it.
Sounds really interesting.
As much as I hate on the guy, he's done some good things, and there were some good things that could have come from this film.
Managed to get back to DCEU.
Yeah, I know. It's just such a hot topic, though, isn't it? It's such a hot topic.
But like, yeah. So sorry, Chris, we finished.
Yeah.
Sorry. So this deal, I mean, obviously, it's probably gonna. I'm assuming it's basically gonna happen now.
Yeah.
It's too much. It will be too much of a monopoly.
Yeah.
Because
I
Disney
know.
will own pretty much. Well, they'll have Pixar, they'll have Star Wars, they'll have Marvel.
Yeah, but there's 6 major studios, isn't there?
Well, this will
apparently?
make it 5.
Well, I read somewhere that there were 6 major studios, and that this is going to make it 4. And I was like, someone's either done bad maths here, or Fox owns, or Fox owns something else as well, which is a major studio.
I don't know. So who would it be? It'd be Universal. It'd be Paramount.
Disney,
It'd
Sony.
be Disney, Sony.
Are Sony big?
They're one of the
Do-
big
they
ones.
do
They had
quite a
like
lot
they've
of
got like
films, don't
James
they?
Bond franchise and
Oh,
stuff.
fair enough.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but even that seems dead, doesn't it? James Bond. That's
He don't
True.
do those anymore, does he?
no, he's doing one more.
One more.
Um,
What about the Weinstein Company? Are they
Still
a
never
big
seen
company? Or is
no,
that not,
they
is
were
that
one,
not classed?
they were
as-
owned by
We
one
gotta
of
talk
someone
about
else.
that.
I think they were owned by. They were bought by Disney in the 90s, and I think they may have been sold on again because it was Miramax and then the Weinstein Company.
Obi's
Um,
never seen James Bond. Discuss.
Any of them. Casino Royale is sick.
Yeah, I really like that film.
Yeah.
Although I was really baffled when he was knocking him with there was like rope. I assume there was a spike at the end of it. And he was,
We was just hitting his testes.
yeah, I was like, flipping hell, mate. Like,
I think I've said this before, but I feel like Daniel Craig doesn't look what I think James Bond should look like. And I feel
I think the reverse. I
Really?
think he is. Yeah.
I feel like typically it should. Who played him before?
You think it's suave
Pierce
like Sean
Brosnan.
Connery
Pierce
or
Brosnan.
Pierce
I feel
Brosnan?
like-
black hair.
Yeah, I feel like he looks like what James Bond I feel like would look
So
like.
you want a suave, like
Yeah.
typical
Daniel
looking
Craig's
British,
kind of like
typical old school British looking guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Benedict Cumberbatch, isn't it?
oh my god. No. I feel like
Yeah.
Daniel Craig just. I don't know. He just kind of looks always really old and really grumpy.
He's a bit rough
He's
around
not-
the edges,
He's
isn't
not,
he?
he's not very sexy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
You want a
And-
sexy Bond.
yeah, it's like what's his face? Like, what's his name? The American one.
Sean
Gerard
Connery?
Butler.
Oh, Gerard.
Like, he always keeps getting work like in his roles. I'm just like, you're not sexy, man.
What's it?
You're not sexy.
So when if you do ever decide to watch all 21 Bond films or whatever,
21?
24, yeah. So there's a point where Sean Connery stops doing it, and another bloke takes over. I can't remember his name.
Well, it was Connery. I don't know if this is in order. George Lazenby did it.
George
did
Lazenby won. Yeah, so he was meant to do a series of them, and then Sean Connery was like, "I'll come back," and so they just got rid of him and did Sean Connery again.
That's jokes.
Then there's Roger Moore.
then
Pierce Brosnan.
and then
Has there only been like 5 Bonds?
no, it's been like I think
There's
2 more
loads.
before. There's like 7 in
Definitely
there.
forgotten some. But there are also some that aren't canon within it. Like
Yeah.
there is a Casino Royale which was made in the 60s,
Yeah.
but it wasn't produced by Eon or something, so it's
Yeah,
not.
because I don't know if she's been in every single
The
one.
Judi Dench.
Yeah, but she's been in loads of them, like since Sean Connery, I think. No, Pierce Brosnan. She was in all the Pierce Brosnan ones, and then it's kind of as if they've taken over.
They
They've
had
just
Q,
changed-
the old guy who was playing Q.
John
he was
Cleese.
he was in for a lot.
Yeah,
John Cleese was
but
cute in a few
they've
of them.
continued it now. So like,
Yeah, because
someone's taken over from them, kind of thing.
they all used to be kind of anthological, so like each one would just be different. They never really related, and then from Casino Royale they've all been like sequential.
That's what they could do for your Avengers or your DC or whatever, you know? Not have a continuous story. And not like have
Oh, no.
loads and then bring out like the same story, so like sticking Ian McKellen as Magneto and then sticking with it, but there's a new Magneto like every movie.
Ooh,
Can't
no.
they?
That would annoy me. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd find it so hard to keep track.
How very dare you?
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
And he brought it back. Like, you love it.
for someone who doesn't like comic book films, you
Wow.
talk with all
You love
Talking
them.
Tell us about-
We need.
I think you need to watch a James Bond film. I think you like it with all the
I've
gadgets and
got
sexy ladies.
Casino. I think I've got Casino Royale on DVD, but I just haven't watched
That
it.
is the best one in my opinion.
Okay,
I think the latest one's pretty good though.
Spectre.
Yeah.
Go back to Goldfinger.
Can
like,
I-
all of them.
Sorry,
Proper
quickly. Can I
Goldfinger.
proclaim now? Next podcast, no superhero talk.
Ooh.
No Can we agree on that? Obviously,
We
talk about Star
can,
Wars
we can
if
try.
but that doesn't really count
We can try.
because I feel like we do talk about it. Too
I ain't
much.
here for the next one, so you do a Christmas one, and then how you can't possibly talk about superheroes for Christmas.
We could probably manage it. I'm not gonna.
The only thing I'd say is, can we maybe say don't talk about superheroes, but we can talk about the studios, maybe because it might be bought by then.
But then we will naturally segue onto superheroes. That's what
I'll just do a quick snippet. I'll just do a quick snippet. I'll be like, guys, Disney bought Fox for this, and that's it. Yeah.
30 seconds.
30-second plug.
Get the countdown.
So, sticking on new releases, I watched Daddy's Home 2, which... Are you going to see it?
Yes, I want to see it.
Okay, so
If you really,
say
if you really want to see it this week, I'll go and see it with
I
you
won't
this week.
go into spoilers, but it's basically so Daddy's Home was the story of Will Ferrell, who is basically the stepdad to Mark Wahlberg's kids, and then Mark Wahlberg doesn't like it. You know, he's like, "Oh, you're taking my kids away." Mark Wahlberg's this very like macho man, and Will Ferrell is this more effete man, and so he's like, "You know, you're basically turning my kids into pussies." By the end of the film, they're friends. And then Mark
Co-dads.
Wahlberg's new girlfriend, her her daughter's real father turns out to be John Cena, who's even more fucking macho than
Can I just say,
Mark Wahlberg.
the mum is fit.
Which mum?
Isn't there only one mum?
No, there's two at least.
But isn't
There's
it
the
like-
main one and then Mark Wahlberg's new squeeze.
Oh, the main one, the one who plays Velma in the Scooby Doo movies,
Is that who it is?
or is Jeremy Renner's wife in? Gonna bring it back again. Avengers 2. No, Captain America: Civil War.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Didn't notice that. So Daddy's Home 2 is basically up to the dads. Dad squared.
Granddad.
It's the granddads come. So
Mel
Mel
Gibson's back.
Mel
It's on
Gibson.
screen.
Mel Gibson plays Mark Wahlberg's dad, and then John Lithgow plays Will Ferrell's dad. And then it's basically like a family Christmas. They're co-dadding, and then the plot is that Mel Gibson basically just keeps poking Mark Wahlberg, trying to cause a rift between him and Will Ferrell, being like, oh yeah, this co-dad thing, is it 50-50 or you know, and yeah.
Is
It
this
wasn't
the first
great.
film that Mel Gibson's done in a while? Like,
In a while, because he directed Hacksaw Ridge.
yeah.
I think he
But
was in a
obviously
couple of
wasn't-
like
it's
indie
a-
films.
It's a strange film to be like.
I've
It's a big
literally,
release to see.
I was
you know.
I was watching it and I was like, why the fuck are you in this film, Mel Gibson? Like, did you really need that much money? Like
Well, who else could do like a
Arnie,
masculine
Sylvester Stallone.
granddad?
There are bigger sellouts than Mel Gibson. That,
Oh my god!
that could have
Just get all
been
the Expendables back.
Dolph Lundgren. Like yeah. So I mean, it's interesting about their comments on masculinity.
I'd
Like
love-
it wasn't.
yeah.
It just wasn't very
Arnie
funny.
is Mark Wahlberg's dad, isn't it? That goes so well.
Well, is
You've
John
got to be
Cena?
stronger.
Was John Cena's dad in it?
No, which I think they missed a trick. John Cena is in it, but I thought so. There's a part, and this isn't really a spoiler, where they go to the cinema and there's a new Liam Neeson film on, and it's called like I don't know something about torpedoes in Christmas, and they all watch it. And I thought it would be really good if it turns out that Liam Neeson is John Cena.
Oh, that'd be sick!
Because like Liam Neeson is badass.
Yeah.
And but it didn't happen. But I mean, there is like John Cena's funny in it because he's obviously like he's this big like wrestler.
Yeah.
But in the film, it's like his favorite song ever is that Live Aid song.
Christmas one.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Feed
Feed the World.
Yeah.
And then like it comes on, he's like, "I'll listen to this shit in August. I don't even care." And I thought, that is like the funniest line in the film. It's not very funny overall.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well, if
sound-
you found the first one
sound
funny,
right.
you probably find this one funny.
That they just reuse gags to the point that they're like, "Oh my god, stop fucking using this gag," and it's just that.
Because Glenn has a gag reflex.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, can't fit much down there.
Yeah,
So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but you might enjoy it.
well, what else?
If you want to see it this week, I'll come with you.
comedy Christmas movie, I'm there.
If it's still in the cinema, I'll be really surprised.
Well, it only came out like a week and a half ago, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll come out of cinema, especially Beckenham.
I'm trying to book
Oh, they-
tickets for Star Wars past the 28th of December. It's not happening.
What, Star Wars
Yeah.
in Beckenham?
No, just in general.
Seriously?
In Southampton.
They probably haven't got. They must not have the.
That's what I'm thinking.
schedule out, yeah.
But they've,
Star Wars
they've
have been there for
but
ages.
I could book tickets for the Amazing Showman
Mm.
on like the 30th,
We'll watch out.
but there aren't any
You're not?
screenings
Oh.
currently. I mean, maybe they want to see how well it does, but I mean, this film's gonna fucking smash. So, anyway.
I saw a film for fucking film. I saw a trailer for bloody Pitch Perfect 3.
Yeah, they're back pictures.
God, it looks so. I'm annoyed, yeah, because they did like one little a cappella version of a song. I was like, oh, I really want to know what song. I really want to listen to the rest of this song, but I know the whole film's gonna be awful. So
You're gonna watch it for the pod.
I might just get the soundtrack.
Is there a screen unseen this Monday?
Yeah.
There is.
Is anyone going?
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
Busy day.
Did you lot watch Brigsby Bear, didn't you? Is that right?
I watched Busy Bear.
Mark Hamill's in that, isn't he? Oh, you won't know. That's
Watch
Luke
what?
Skywalker. The dad.
Camel. Yeah. So yeah.
What you watch?
Brigsby Bear.
Did you talk about that on this?
I can't remember. I feel like I told you about it.
Yeah,
But
but
I
I
don't
bumped
think
into you at the bus
yeah,
stop.
but
I don't think you talked about it
talked
because I
about
do
it,
not remember this,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you would have made a Mark Hamill comment.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but yeah. Was it good?
I thought it was
What's
really
it
good,
about?
yeah. It's about so the way the film starts, like, it's this. So I thought initially that it was kind of like this, maybe like maybe not post-apocalyptic, but maybe like there was some sort of like maybe like war going on or something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause basically, these people were kind of like locked away in this house, like boarded up sort of thing, and this guy, the main character, I can't remember his name for the life of me, sees his dad you see his dad like leave to go to work. I'm assuming he's got like a gas mask on, so I'm thinking like maybe the air is like toxic or something like that. And then like maybe a couple minutes later, this kid's like obsessed with this TV show called Brigsby Bear, and he's like doing all these like formulas and calculations, and like Brigsby Bear could get to the moon and save the planet if he does this, and all stuff like that. He's like talking to some people on this forum on his computer. And then like a couple minutes later, the police raid his house at night, and they arrest the parents, and they take the kid. I say kid, he's like 30. They take the guy out into his car, and they start driving away, and he's like holding his breath because he thinks the air is toxic. And obviously the policemen are all like calm, like you can breathe, the air's fine. That opens the windows, like you can do whatever. Turns out that these two parents abducted this boy when he was a baby, and they've been keeping him in that house for like 30 years. Obviously telling him that like the air is toxic, you're not allowed to go outside, for fear of getting caught and stuff like that. So yeah, he goes, basically it's about him kind of like he goes back to his actual regular family, and basically it's about him adjusting to life on the outside world, because he's not used to pretty much any of it, and obviously there's a lot of things that he does differently, like him and his family used to shake hands before their dinner, so like when he goes back to the thing, like before they start eating, like he like gets up, shakes hands, like may all of us like says something like may all of us be smarter tomorrow than we are today or something like that, and sits back down and starts eating, and they were like, oh, fair enough. So then he is like, can I get any tapes or DVDs of Brigsby Bear? And they're like, what's that? Basically, the dad made up Brigsby Bear. Like, there's literally like over like 2,000 episodes or something like that. The dad filmed and made the scripts for all of them. The fake dad, sorry, not the real dad. And showed him that to try and like, you know how like kid shows are supposed to like teach you things, that sort of thing. So you kind of like say, Brigsby Bear says, have a pleasant day and always wash your hands, stuff like that. So he's like basically like saying, the aim of the film is to create a Brigsby Bear movie to end the series, as he says, and his real parents don't want him to do that because it's kind of like keeping him attached to this world where he was abducted, and they're abducted, and they were like, we don't want you to, we kind of want you to like separate that part of your life and move on. Obviously he doesn't want to do that because he loves Brigsby Bear so much. And it's just basically him like trying to fit in, make friends. He's got a sister as well, trying to make friends with his sister's friends, and there's quite a few funny moments along the way. There's a bit where he's talking about the script of the Brigsby Bear film, and he's basically talking about his fake mum and dad, saying like, he doesn't want them to go to prison because they didn't really do anything that bad in his eyes. So yeah, and it's a pretty decent film. He makes the film in the end, and obviously it's like a big success, and everybody loves it, and it's good. It's a good film. You should watch it.
Sounds really odd.
Did he get abused by
It's
these
not-
people?
No, it's not that odd. Obviously, the premise of it is odd, but the actual film itself isn't that odd, and it's kind of charming.
How old was he? 30?
Like 30, yeah. Yeah, it was decent.
Cool.
Alright.
What have you been watching?
I've been
What
watching
non-Marvel
what's on
stuff?
the list?
Shaun of the Dead or Revolution, mate?
Shaun of the Dead. Oh, either or, mate. Either or.
Tell us about both.
Shaun of the Dead. Classic Brit film. Love it. Obi, end of the world, zombie apocalypse. Where are you going? To the pub or Tesco?
Down to the Winchester, mate. Is it the Winchester?
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, I'll go Sainsbury's opposite my house.
I'll go Wickes.
Wicks.
Yeah, other DIY shops are available because it's like loads
There's
of
no
like,
food there though.
Loads of weapons and stuff.
There's no food in
Fuck.
Wicks.
or like a Walmart or something.
Don't really need weapons, though.
What?
Build yourself something.
So you want somewhere where there's just loads of food?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should go somewhere where there's food. Obviously, in Tesco, if you go up to the warehouse and that, they've got like machines and that, so
True.
could run over some zombies with the machines.
And it's open 24 hours, so
Don't.
you're not going to get there and it's shut.
Well, these are like
You and everyone else is going to be doing that, though.
these are like spastic zombies where they're just like 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 really slow as opposed to like
Yeah.
World War Z zombies.
Does it hold up? Like, do you watch it and it's still funny?
Yes, man. Although to be fair, I didn't watch it for a long time because I had nightmares. Because I walked in on my brother watching it when I was younger, and I thought this was real. Oh my god! Like I couldn't sleep for like fucking years. I had nightmares of it, and like ever since I was like afraid of zombie movies. But like
Growing up.
I don't know, growing up, yeah, love it, man.
What do you think?
I missed out. It's the scene where the guy gets like ripped apart when he gets like pulled out of the pub and he's getting
Yeah.
and they're eating him whilst he's still alive. Oh, I saw that and I was like, no.
It's just so funny when he's like, even like zombie Ed, he's like, sorry, and it's like, what Ed? And he's like, a fight. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And then when he keeps Ed at the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
They have such,
Player
a,
two,
they have
yeah,
such
right.
a bromance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of a possible Shaun of the Dead 2 and Hot Fuzz 2?
Really?
They've made a script.
No way.
Yeah.
Leave it. It's done.
Leave it.
Because they didn't really finish the Cornetto trilogy with a bang, really. That last film was a bit of a...
Yeah. It was
I always considered Paul was like their third film.
I feel like if you wanted to do it, you probably could, because Paul was a good way to end that trilogy, but there was no Cornetto in it, I don't believe, so...
No, there wasn't much of a Cornetto in The World's End, but...
It was a rapper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, what would you say yes to Shaun of the Dead 2, Hot Fuzz 2?
I'd say yes to any of those two writing a film and being in it, starring it, as they like...
Yeah.
As they are, because they have such good
Yeah.
chemistry.
I would like
And
them to make
obviously,
another
like,
film, but not...
Simon Pegg's gone off and he's done like quite a few other things, hasn't he? Obviously,
Star Trek.
He's like in Star Trek, and like I'd like to see more of Nick Frost, but I don't know if he's just not been in the mainstream like as Simon Pegg has.
Yeah, I think Simon Pegg's left him behind a bit.
Because he does Star Trek, he does Mission Impossible, and he writes for Star Trek as well, I think, and he writes other stuff.
Yeah.
But then I assume Nick Frost does write stuff as well.
He's done a couple of things.
Yeah.
He was in Attack the Block, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, flipping out.
Yeah. So he's still funny.
Still funny, always funny.
What about Evolution?
Evolution.
What is
you
that?
didn't like it. What were you
No,
saying about
I think it's alright. I just prefer the cartoon. The
So tell us
cartoon
the plot
was
of-
sick.
Tell us the plot of Evolution.
Plot of Evolution. So there is a meteorite that goes into Arizona in a small like town in the US. So a couple of scientists from the local college go there. They want to check it out and get like claim to fame for it. But soon they start to realize that actually this is because it's extraterrestrial. It's like spreading ridiculously quickly and it's evolving. And then the US government get involved and they try and contain it, but they actually make it 10 times worse, 100 times worse, trying to, classic Americans solve it with violence and guns and napalm.
Yeah.
So it turns around that, the guys from the college find I wouldn't say a cure, but like the way to kill it, stop the extinction of humankind.
Is it a comedy?
Definitely.
Yeah,
it's not a serious film.
Is there a bit, if I remember, like someone's like hanging out of a car or something, or I can't remember, like, I haven't watched it in years.
It was on this morning.
Was
That's
it?
how I watched it.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
But whenever it is on, I'm always up for it. I'm like, yes, because it's just so stupid. It's funny. Obi's just showing us some pornos.
I might watch that actually when there's
What porn is it?
No, Evolution.
What have you been watching?
I finished watching Limitless, the TV series.
Yeah.
You said they got picked up by someone.
Yeah, Amazon apparently have picked it up because it got shopped around and nothing got picked up. But I don't know if it's a continuation.
Who was doing it before? Who was making it before? Don't know.
Don't know because I'm watching it on.
Is Bradley Cooper still in it?
So Bradley Cooper's in it, and he's in quite a few episodes actually. So the whole idea of it is that NZT, the pill that he takes in the movie, is he's got a cure for it, but obviously he's keeping that to himself. And then this guy gets hold of, I can't remember the first few episodes because I watched them ages ago, but he gets hold of the NCT. Bradley Cooper then wants to use him and says that I'll give you the shot if you help me out. So and then he starts working for the FBI, this guy, and when Bradley Cooper wants him to do stuff, he does stuff. But then he gets a bit sick of it. His handler starts figuring it all out, and then basically Bradley Cooper's just like so ahead of everyone because he's upgraded his pill and he's got the thing. He'd never have to take an injection ever again. He's got it all because there's a scene where someone tries to kill Bradley Cooper from like miles and miles away, and Bradley Cooper's like, he essentially could hear the click of the gun, and he's like, well, if I move 2 inches this way, it will just graze me and I'll look better in the newspaper kind of thing. And I was like, maybe that's a bit too far.
So what is it, like a thriller or a drama?
It's a detective. So the guy Brian takes so the FBI give him one NZT pill every day, and then they solve cases together.
Oh,
So that's
why can't other FBI agents just take it?
Because if you take it, you can die. unless you get the injection, and they don't.
CBS, sorry, CBS.
CBS, and they don't know he's getting the injection, so they just assume he's immune.
Okay.
And then like there's this big fiasco, and basically they try and take down, because at this point Bradley Cooper's the senator, and he's trying to become president. Sorry.
Yeah.
And this other guy who used to work with him like goes rogue, and basically they can't prove that Bradley Cooper's done it or anything, so they get the other guy, and then that's where the series ends.
Okay.
So
it's
it's
just
good.
one series.
One series, yeah. I thought it was decent. Like it wasn't great, it was good.
Yeah, but you'd watch another one.
I'd watch another one, yeah, because I'd like to see how they continue.
I thought it was a film.
It was, and then they
Is
this
that
is a TV
It's a
series.
film, innit?
Exactly. It's like the opposite. Normally TV shows become films, but now there's a lot of films
Yeah, but
become
they
TV.
stuck with Bradley Cooper as.
Yeah, as the main guy who's kept the pills and made the cure and everything. So
And what's a gin?
I think I don't know how you put Asian. Basically, it's this anime, and basically there's only certain people who are this.
Ajin.
Yeah, and basically when they get killed, they can come back to life, but they can create this like but they can create this like ghost-like creature, but us normal humans couldn't see it, but the other people who've got Asians can see it. And basically there's this one ex-army guy who just wants to literally, you think originally he just wants equal rights for these people, but he actually just like playing games and like fucking people shit like up. And this kid is just like, well, I just want to live an ordinary life, so I'm just going to try and take this man down. And basically it's just this story of them taking this man down, and then there's loads of limitations to these things, so like you can only have so they can bring them out without dying, but they can only last like 5 minutes, and then once you've used one, it takes ages to recover and make another one. These things.
So there's different ghosts.
Yeah, so you can keep bringing them up. So once it gets destroyed, once you've like got whatever it is again, you can make another one.
Is it the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Is it like a Patronus charm?
I don't know, mate, but basically, and if you knock him in, if you smash the ghost's head, it disappears.
Okay.
Right, and he's learning how to control it, because originally it does the opposite of what he says, and then he learns how to control it. But the main character's like unique to everyone else. Like he can keep creating them, while other people, once they've created one, it takes them ages to like recreate it. And then the last episode of the series, he creates like 50 at once, which is impossible. But then yeah, so it's a good series. That's season 2 of it as well. So, and I think season 3 is coming out.
Okay.
What does that mean, Ajin?
That is what they call them.
It might be like Japanese for ghost or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know.
Or a shadow, because it looks more like a shadowy character. Yeah.
Do you ever watch like classic anime films like
Howl's Moving Castle, I've watched.
My Neighbor Totoro?
I want to watch that.
Oh, I've got it on DVD.
Oh yeah.
I'll lend it to you.
Yeah, I might
I think I spoke about
Is
it.
that with the giant hamster looking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a really kind of inoffensive film. Like, I appreciated it, but it's for like 4-year-olds.
Yeah, I watch it. Like, if it's on Netflix, I tend to watch it. And then, like, on the sites I watch, like, Dragon Ball Super or Boruto or stuff like that, I'll watch other things, like, if it pops up. But the thing that Obi watched that time, not Van Helsing, the vampire guy, I watched all that. That was interesting. I feel like it didn't really answer a lot of questions, and it's essentially kind of pointless, but I watched that, and that was interesting. Like, I thought, because they do so many different things that obviously you can't do in real life, so it's quite interesting to watch it and see how it all unravels.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Should we talk about Mudbound?
Sure.
If you don't mind us, if you haven't seen it.
I keep forgetting that we're even watching it.
So what is Mudbound?
So Mudbound is a film about basically these 2 separate families on a farm in like 1940s, I'm assuming, America.
See, I thought it was even older than that, but then
Originally, that's what I thought it was like 1800s.
I thought it was during the slave trade.
Yeah.
But it's not, is it?
But yeah, no. So basically, both families have a family member who goes away to war, and then obviously the 2. So one family's black, one family's white. The 2 come back, and like they're dealing with life after war, PTSD and all stuff like that. You've got this white family, basically. I can't remember any people's names. Jamie Henry.
Henry's the man.
Henry's the
McAllister. Is it their surname?
I don't know. And so yeah, the White family basically the way it ends is the way it starts. So so you get it kind of like all circles back around, of course. So yeah, this basically this guy Henry has basically upholds his family to own a farm because his dream was always to own a farm. So I don't know what job he had before.
He seems to be doing alright though.
Yeah, he seems to be doing okay for themselves. But they decide to move to this farm, and they said we're going to buy this farm and we're going to live in this house near the farm. But basically he gets swindled for the house. Like the guy sold the house to 2 people, and somebody was already living there. So yeah, they had to live in like some little like outhouse like right next to the farm, like which was proper like shit and dingy and whatever. And basically, his wife is unhappy, doesn't enjoy it living there, and what her wife is in love with Henry's brother, who is the one who went to war and comes back, which was pretty obvious from like the first scene they were in together, where they had like a little slow dance.
How many Mississippis did she have on him?
Mate, they were slow dancing, so it was bare Mississippis. So yeah, and then the other black family, they were already working on the farm before whatever their names are, Henry and his family came. Their dream is to own their own bit of land. So like earn up enough money working on the farm so they can move to somewhere and buy their own bit of land somewhere. And the head of the patriarch, the head of that family is the same guy who plays Turk in the Marvel Daredevil.
You're saying Turk from
no.
Damn.
So
imagine.
Yeah, it kind of shows like their interactions with each other, and obviously in time there where slavery hasn't been abolished for that long, and there are not many rights of black people. Obviously, there's a part where one of what's his name? Rondell? Ronzel, that's it. Rondell. Mr. Rondell from Langley. Rondell, he enters the shop through the front door, and he tries to leave through the front door, and then a load of white people come in like, no, you got to leave through the back door.
Yeah. And they're like, over in Brussels, like, you might have been able to use the front. And also, like, Henry's dad lives with him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's the one. Yeah, he's in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, he's Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Better Call Saul, yeah.
And he's like really racist, isn't he? He's
super
like uses lots of racial epithets and just like so that there's a point where the daughters get ill, and then like she has to go and get the matriarch from the Jackson family, and then the grandfather. Yeah, which I did not recognise.
Neither did I. Not gonna lie, neither did I.
But then it was like, and then he's like, "Why are you having that in here? You can't let her look after the kids." But I thought it was really interesting, like, because obviously the fact the black family are struggling, but when the white people call on them for help, like they have to, because I think doesn't Mary J. Blige say like, "Oh, I have to look after my kids, but if I don't look after the white kids, it's going to impact my family."
Exactly. What she said about her own mum.
Yeah.
Basically never being around because she was always looking after her, all these white kids basically.
And even when like the black father breaks his leg, Henry's like, "Oh well, you still need to get all your crops out, otherwise you're going to be fired." And he's like,
and he like forced him to buy a horse off him or something.
Yeah.
Buy a mule off him so to get the work done quicker.
And like Ronzel comes back from war and has to work the farm. And I thought Jason Mitchell, who played Ronzel, was really good really good performance. Because everyone's been talking about Mary J. Blige for like an Academy Award.
She wasn't standout.
No, it was like Mahershala Ali for like Moonlight.
I thought
much better performances in that.
I thought Turk. Well, I don't know what the character's name.
Mr. Jackson.
I thought he put in a great performance.
Yeah, and also the injustice in the end where like because Jamie and Ronzel were friends, like the white community didn't like it, and then they end up kind of.
It takes a turn.
Yeah, so it turns out like so Ronzel fathers a child in Belgium with this German woman, and then they find out and they're like, "Oh, you're mixing races," and then they basically string him up and beat him, and they say to Jamie,
"It's KKK, by the way."
Yeah, you can either cut his tongue out, or cut his balls off.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he cuts his tongue out, doesn't he?
He chews his tongue.
And then
Jamie, his friend, tries to stop it, but basically they string him up. They knock Jamie out, and they're basically like, "We're either going to kill him, or they can cut off his tongue, and cut off his balls." And he chews his tongue.
Tongue or balls, Chris? tongues.
Tongue.
I don't know, because then he goes and sees his kid and can't say anything to him, which was quite heartbreaking.
I think in
It
his
was-
situation,
it was.
I think balls would be better, but my situation, tongue. Because I'd like to have kids still.
It's true.
And he's already got a kid,
Just
so he
put your
doesn't really
balls in
need
the
him
freezer,
anymore.
and then-
Wow.
But like, I actually, did you enjoy it? Did you
Yeah, I
enjoy it?
did. I did enjoy it. I thought like the kind of build up was quite long to like when they actually go to war, but I did enjoy it. I thought like it's a powerful film, especially like considering things aren't that much better nowadays.
I did guess. Did you think that the whole thing with so what happens is basically Pappy, which is
Henry's dad.
leads all the KKK to get Ronzel, and they attack him, string him up, all the also, and sorry, and it's tissues, and
Dirty bum
Jamie
tissue.
is basically like, understandably pissed off. So basically, and Jamie and Pappy didn't have a great relationship to begin with. You can see that it's really evident throughout the film. So he kills him.
Yeah.
He kills his dad. So, and then the end of the start of the film is Jamie and Henry digging a grave, and then they find out that it's like raining and pissing down with rain, and they find out that it's like a slave. It used to be a slave
Burial ground.
Burial ground, and he was like, "Oh, we can't bury our dad in this." So from then, you know that the dad's gonna die, basically. They can't bury our dad in this. He wouldn't stand for it. Blah blah blah. So they have to put him in a different spot, and basically they can't lower the casket into the ground, and they need help. But they see Mr. Jackson and his family on a horse driving by, and he's like, he calls them out saying, "Yeah, we need you to help you to lower our dad's body into the ground." And then obviously, you'll be like, "Oh, okay." And because like the Jacksons are quite hesitant to get out of the carriage, and you're thinking like, okay, why? But it obviously becomes evident throughout the film that's because the dad was responsible for their son being mutilated. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Mutilated, and
So probably
yeah, so
like,
like
fuck
kind of-
off.
yeah.
leave
well,
it.
no, they do it in the end because obviously in those days, if they don't do it,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna die. So,
Yeah, I kind of wanted them not to do it though,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But then he was like, I liked how he was like, "Oh, yeah, it'd be quicker if we get your boys to help us." He's like, "No, my children aren't getting out of this.
Yeah.
My children aren't getting out of this thing."
I feel like this film has the commentary on kind of civil rights that I wanted Suburbicon to have. But you didn't see Suburbicon, did you?
So
But
there's
it's like,
none in there.
You see like the terrorization of this black family, and there's just no consequences to it whatsoever. It's just used to mirror the escalation of violence. And I was like, you can't have something like that, such a sensitive and current topic, and just treat it as like background. But yeah, I really liked.
I liked it. I didn't like one thing I didn't like was basically Henry was kind of seemed to be the main character, but he wasn't really the main character. Like he wasn't really involved that much. And also the wife gets with Jamie, and then we like one time, and then we don't really like don't
Two times.
three time. And they don't really like develop anymore. They just get with each other, and then
Yeah.
the film basically ends about 5 minutes later.
That's alright, you can do that.
Yeah, no, but I would like to see how that blossomed. You know,
just want sex, don't you? You just
Oh, I just
after
wanna
watching The Room,
But then
you're
obviously,
hooked.
then obviously, like Jamie at the end of the film, Jamie just like kind of like walks away, and we assume that he's leaving, and that's going to be it. But no, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was very strong.
When was it made? Was it this year?
2017, yeah, 2017. It's a good film.
Was it on cinema released?
No, Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix thing.
Although I think it is getting a LA release
Yeah, R&B
to
songs.
qualify for the
Going
Oscars.
for the Oscars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see it maybe contending for I don't know what award.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably going to try and put Mary J. Blige up for Best Supporting Actress or something.
Yeah, they should put Jason Mitchell up for Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor. I don't know. Cool. We're almost running out of time and battery, but I just want to mention. I was telling you about a TV show called The Sinner. I finished it. So weird, man. So like, yeah. So Jessica Biel plays Cora. She's a woman who, in the first episode stabs a man to death, and she claims not to know him. And anyway, and then this policeman played by Bill Pullman basically thinks there's more to it than that. But she pleads guilty And then he's like, basically tries to investigate why she killed this man. So anyway, throughout the 8 episodes, it turns out that, I mean, there was a period where that she was missing for 2 months and she doesn't have any recollection of it. And she thought she was a drug addict. She's got all these needles, like scars in her arm. Anyway, so it turns out that, I'll just basically do it linearly. When she was younger, she had a sister who was really ill and could never go out of the house because, you know, she was really weak. Anyway, unlike her sisters, it was like 4th of July and her sister was like 19. And then she took her to a bar, and like her sister had always liked hearing about Cora's sex stories because they were a very like prudish family. Like the mother was like, you know, say 7 Hail Marys, and if you read Heat magazine, then you're a slut. But so like the sister would always be like, oh, you know, do you kiss him, blah blah blah.
You do that all the time.
What?
I remember that just reminded me when we talked about, sorry to quick interrupt you, when we talked about Happy Death Day, you said that you paraphrased like one of the girls saying, oh yeah, if you eat chips you're a slut. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so anyway, so Cora takes her sister to a bar. They get talking to, like, they go back to this social club. Her sister starts having sex for the first time with this guy, but then because she's got such a weak heart, she dies.
Oh, piss.
At this point, like, Cora is high on drugs and is basically having a threesome with these guys. And then the guy who accidentally kills her sister is like trying to do CPR on her, but because her bones are so brittle, ends up crushing her ribcage, and like she dies. And then there's all this cover up. So the guy who killed her sister, they bury her and then they keep Cora hostage, and like the dad's like a doctor, so he keeps like feeding her some sort of drug and keeps saying to her like, what do you remember about the incident? It's like to try and make her forget. And then she wakes up, but the music that was playing when her sister died is playing at the beach when she ends up stabbing this guy to death, because that's the guy she stabs to death. She just didn't remember him.
Did she stab to death the guy who killed his sister?
Yeah,
okay,
but she didn't know it at the time.
Okay.
So it was an interesting series.
So yeah, I mean, the first episode is obviously like, you don't know what the fuck's going on, but there is an actual story to it. I thought that was going to be the start of the story, and you're just like, well, where's this going to go from?
Well, it is the start of the story, but it's also the end of the story.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really interesting. But there was a lot of things in it, and I was like, that's really tangential. Like the way the police
Really what?
Tangential, like small kind of connections that they make.
Right.
And like the policeman will figure out something based on, I don't know. I'm like, have I missed something? Like, it was interesting, but it was a bit kind of haphazard. And it was also really weird. So like the sister who's ill, when she asks Cora like, oh yeah, so you know, do you kiss with tongues and stuff? She's like, yeah. She's like, oh, can you show me how to French kiss? And they end up kissing. And then she's like, oh, what else does he do to you? And she fingers her sister. And I was just like,
I've seen that video.
God. And I was just watching it, I was like,
Sounds hot.
why is this happening? Like, this is really, really weird. Anyway, you lot probably like it, don't you? I know you read Heat magazine, you slut. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. And I've started watching a film called Single White Female, which was from the 90s.
Okay.
Shout out Lauren, she was like, you never mention anything that I like listening, that I like watching. So
Where are you up to on Mindhunter? Tell me.
Oh, finished it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was good. I feel like it was quite arrogant of them to basically spend the whole series setting up series 2.
Yeah.
I felt quite pissed off about that.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but yeah, it was a bit arrogant.
What about Jumanji? Do you want to talk about it quickly? You got 4% of
Quick,
battery to do
yeah.
it. Actually less, because I got to press the stop button.
Fair enough.
Oh.
So, I don't know if you guys thought maybe that a Jumanji reboot or, you know, sequel
I feel like it's going to be
would
funny.
be kind of crap. I thought it'd be kind of crap because obviously
I think it looks like a good idea, like not like a usual sequel where it's following the same story, but this is totally like.
I thought the trailer looked terrible, to be fair.
So, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I really like the first film, so I was kind of going into a bit, you know, like think I was
wary about it, yeah.
bit wary, like think this might be a bit crap. But pleasantly surprised, the film is actually quite good. I think anyway. I feel like the film is basically made by the chemistry between, you know, the 4 characters.
Yeah.
They spend like the first maybe 15 minutes kind of like working on the traits of the kids basically, and then when they transformed into the game, the Rock, Kevin Hart, whatever her name is,
Karen
Gillan.
and Jack Black, they all do really well to kind of portray the characters that they're supposed to be. He does, but it doesn't get old. I feel like I feel like it doesn't get old. I enjoyed it.
I can't wait to watch
And
this film.
he did well. I feel like the chemistry between The Rock and Kevin Hart is always strong. Always makes the film good. But the chemistry between all four of them is really good. There was loads of for me, really funny comments and moments and laugh out loud moments.
Okay.
What about Nick Jonas?
Nick Jonas was good too. Yeah, Nick Jonas was good too.
Sounds like it's got OB seal of approval.
Yeah,
so
man.
it justified its existence.
It was. I actually think that I underrate both Kevin Hart and The Rock as actors.
Okay.
I feel like they are better actors than I give them credit for.
Well, they're not really actors. I mean, The Rock was wrestling. He was a wrestler, and Kevin Hart's a stand-up comedian. Isn't he?
But this thing. I would love to see them because obviously The Rock is The Rock, and he's like this really confident, guy outside of films. But in the film, he's portraying this guy who's a nerd and he's really geeky and really insecure, and he does really well to do that. Obviously, he looks from. There's this point where he walks away looking very muscly and confident, and then behind he's oh, don't cry. It's really funny. And obviously Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart. He's always going to be comedic. They gave him a lot of
outspoken.
They gave him a lot of the comedy lines, and which he pulled off majority of them. To be fair, there was one woman behind me who was literally laughing at everything Kevin Hart said. It was like when we went to see Thor, and everyone behind us was laughing at everything. But yeah, he was really good. But there was a moment where Kevin Hart did a really serious, maybe 20-second little speech about the sort of person that you want to be. And then I was like, oh, this is really good. And then he just followed it up with a joke. And I was just like, I would have seen both him and The Rock do more serious films just to see if they could pull it off. Because I feel like if they tried, they could branch into that sort of area.
That's the problem with comics.
I think
The Rock has done some serious ones.
I don't
think
think
hasn't he?
serious.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. If they have. But I feel like they're quite typecast because obviously, I think the Rock is huge. I feel like huge people or small people like Kevin Hart, they're not really cast to play serious roles.
Well, when he was get hard and he's
yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Because of the way they are in outside life and obviously physically, I feel like they're never going to be cast to play serious characters.
And the trouble with comic actors is when they're in serious films, you always just think they're funny.
Yeah.
But
I think it was a good film. The villain was proper shit, but I kind of get it. I do like the way they kind of integrated the video game aspect of it into the.
It could be so it's. Oh, do you think it works as a standalone film if you have never seen the? Because it is
definitely does.
Totally different.
Did they reference it?
There's a few there's 3 or 4 little Easter eggs to the first film.
So I bought the old one on DVD to rewatch before I watched it.
It made me want to watch the first one. To be fair.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Fuck's
Unless it was only on the Netflix when I was in Croatia. Because Netflix changes as you go different places.
Are you on Netflix in Croatia?
Yeah, mate, I was watching Jumanji, remember? I was in the tent. I watched Jumanji.
He was preoccupied.
I also, like you're saying, you got halfway through a film, I got halfway through The Circle.
Okay.
So that'll be one that
I will be continuing Single White Female though because it was quite interesting. And it's about this...
I'll be continuing The Circle.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Single White Female is about this single white female who basically this woman lives in a flat with a boyfriend. He cheats on her with his ex-wife. Then she wants to get a roommate, and then she ends up getting back together with her boyfriend and has to kick the roommate out. And then the roommate, I think, is basically she's really odd. She's I think she takes her identity. But I'm about halfway through it.
Is it a thriller?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
See,
can't you watch comedy?
See, I'm watching something completely different to you. It's The Circle. It's this company, and they basically want social media to be active everywhere, to have no privacy for anyone. And so Tom Hanks' company have made these little cameras that you can barely see, but he's planted them everywhere. And then Emma Watson's character has she's the main character in it, and she decides she doesn't like the idea of it to begin with, but then she immerses herself in the job, and she's proper techie and everything, and they're all for friendship and for becoming part of society and groups and stuff, not weird groups like kayaking and stuff like that. And basically John Boyega's character is the owner of it all, but he's he's not active part of it anymore because he doesn't like what they're doing, and he's trying to you almost get that idea he wants to take it down. and then Emma Watson's character, you feel like she agrees with him, and then she does the complete opposite, and she just wears this camera like 24/7, like to prove to everyone that she's gonna do this thing, and then that's where it stopped for me. Like, I'm up to a point where her parents haven't spoke to her in a few weeks, and I think it's because when she was recording, she has cameras all around the house because her dad has some disability, and she went into camera in their bedroom. Bit bizarre, they have a camera in the bedroom where her mum is, because he obviously this guy can't use his legs, so she's like pumping his penis to get ready to have sex, and she's like, oh my god, and like instead of covering the camera, she's like. And like so everyone's like social media can talk about it and stuff, and obviously
But you said it was like didn't you say it was terrible?
Well, to begin with, you don't really understand what she got. Like I'm sure because I was sitting downstairs, I had nothing with me. I was watching it, and I didn't understand where it was going to begin with. Like it was just she got this job for a mutual friend, and she had to get this rating of 100% on this profile, and I was like, right, okay. So what exactly is this? And then like she can't quite get the percentage, and then all of a sudden Tom Hanks shows us this camera, and you're like, right, okay, where's this going? And then all of a sudden she becomes better at her job, and then it just stems from there. And then the only time you start right really getting into grips with it is when you figure out who John Boyega's character is.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see.
Fair enough. Well, your phone hangs out on 4% for quite a while. But I guess that'll be it for this week. Next week, I guess you talk about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Those of us who are here, you're not here. So,
Did you get my contribution for you, mate?
so no
Yeah,
DC
yeah.
films.
No Ollie.
No Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
No Hobbit.
I don't hear your bullshit anymore.
Oh no.
Sorry, I won't hear your fucking superhero talk.
She brings it up.
Yeah, you brought it up at least twice in today's conversation. So.
Because I watched a fucking film on it.
Exactly. So what's your beef?
Alright, you. No.
What's beef?
1, 2, 3.
Anyway, on that bombshell, tune in next week. Thank you for listening. You can tweet us at YSC Podcast 17. We're on Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and SoundCloud under Your Average Critics. Do share our content, leave us a 5-star review, and all that jazz.
Jeez.